Right. Welcome, Locked and Loaded Diaries listeners. I'm Kimberly Walker, and I'm here with Terry Caserta and Heather Hedge Baker. And tonight, our special guest is Gloria Curry. She is the mother of Lance Corporal Ronald Macho Valentin. Is that how you pronounce it, Gloria? Oh,
Yes.
I got it on the first try. And he was stationed at the Marine Corps base Camp Hansen in Okinawa, Japan.
Yes.
And in August of 2018, he went missing on August 31st, 2018. And it wasn't until September 5th that Gloria received a phone call from the Marines saying that her son was missing.
Correct.
The next day, she received official notice that her son was dead. His body was found in a drainage ditch 200 feet from where he was last seen.
Mm-hmm.
There were no cameras in the area near Ronald was found. They were not functional. The official cause of death, according to the autopsy report, was blunt force trauma to the head. But the manner of death has not been determined.
Still death undetermined.
In the weeks following his death, investigators tried to portray his death as an accident or a suicide. However, given the violent nature of his death, obviously, Gloria believes that her son was murdered. And I think she has every reason to do that. When his body was found, it was so badly decomposed that it couldn't be identified by physical markers, only by his dental records.
Right.
They had to have a closed casket funeral and never personally identified him in person, only by video of a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
When they received his bodies from the Marines at the airport, it was revealed as they were leaving the airport that they had the wrong body and the wrong casket.
Correct.
They did the entire bereavement for the wrong body. Ronald Valentin never got his bereavement the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like speechless to read this story. It's been 3.5 years, going on 4 years. He went to a party at a sergeant's residence, and there were other privates there as well.
Correct.
But he was never seen again that night. NCIS says the case is still ongoing, and the family has no answers, no justice, no peace. No one saw anything. Cameras weren't working. He left his backpack behind, and Ronald always wore glasses, and they've never found his glasses.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, Gloria. This is not how a Marine should be treated. This is not how a mother of a Marine, 3.5 years, and we're still waiting on an investigation that's ongoing. This is disgraceful. This is America, and this shit's happening in America, and it's a disgrace that service members' families are being shit on again and again. If she deserves answers, her son gave his life for his country, but he was murdered. He didn't get to die on the battlefield. Again, another service member. Gloria, I'm so sorry for what you're going through right now. I mean, it's enough that you lost your son, but for the Marine Corps to drag you through the mud like this pisses me the hell off. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about what you've been through and how the Marine Corps has treated you. But first, let's talk about Ronald a little bit and the man that he was and why he wanted to serve his country and what he did while he was in the Marines. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. He was a sweet kid. He was a sweet kid. He stayed out of trouble. And he always wanted to join the Marine. I didn't want him to join the military, period. Not because I felt like something was gonna happen to him, just because I didn't want him to. I watched a lot of TV, a lot of things that happen on TV, because I didn't know about everything that's going on right now. I was never aware of until he passed. When I seen that, I was like, oh my God. Well, after my son passed, that's when I really seen what was happening. But he always wanted to join. So when he graduated high school, he told me, Mom, I want to join. And I started crying and I begged him not to. So he tried college. So he went to university, and he tried there and he went for business. He tried, and then he decided he wanted to come back home. So he came back home, and then he went to college close to home because, he got homesick. And then he was at the other college in Mount Wachusett in Garner, and there was recruiters there, and he always wanted to be a Marine. So I guess they were doing a bed trying out, like lifting. And he comes home one day and tells me, Ma, can you sit down? We need to talk. I said, okay, I don't want you to get mad. I said, okay, what happened? He goes, I don't want you to get mad, but this is something I want. I saw the look on his face that he was so happy because he wanted to join. I don't want to start crying, I'm sorry. But I said, you know what? If that's what makes you happy, I support you 100%. I wasn't going to take that away from him because it was the second time he told me. So he did. The recruiter that recruited him he did. He promised me that he was going to be okay. His words, he's going to be okay. So, but he was a good kid. He always stayed out of trouble. He wasn't a hanging out person. All he did, his routine was go to school, go to work, because he worked since he was a teenager. Go to work, play PlayStation, play basketball, work out, and be with the family or his close friends. That's what he did. And eat, because he loved eating and watching movies. That's what he liked doing. That's what he did. And bother me and joke me. He used to bother me, make fun of me and everything. And all that. He was a sweet kid. He was a sweet kid, And like I said, and all he wanted was a better life for himself, and a better life for his family. That's what he wanted. That's what he was looking for, and wanted to be a Marine, But he joined and he was doing good. Even when he was at boot camp, when they give you those hard, tough training. I remember his letters. He said, my mom, when he used to call me, I was about to give up, but I thought of you and I'm not giving up. He said, I want you to be proud of me. I'm like, I'm proud of you no matter what, because you've been doing good. I said, it doesn't matter. I'm proud of you. So he stuck it out and he did it. He did it and he joined, and then when he came, actually, I still remember that day because when he came, before he was going to get sent to his first assignment in Okinawa, he told me, I want to go visit our family in Long Island because I'm from Long Island in New York. And I said, okay, we could go see the family. And that was Mother's Day weekend. So that was the last time I saw my son in person and spent time with him. And we took pictures and everything. And then he got sent to Okinawa. He was over there. He was happy. He was good. He liked it. He loved it. That's what he wanted to do. And I remember before he left, before he left and he joined, he used to tell me he wanted to be a CIA. And I used to say, if you be a CIA, I'm changing my last name. And he used to laugh. I said, that's not funny. And he used to laugh at me. And then he changed. Then when he went, when he was in Japan, his job was the postal. He was at the post office working. And I remember him telling me, Mom, when I finish and I go back to the States, I'm going to be getting paid a good money at the postal. He said, I'm going to have a good career. I said, yeah, Papi, that's good. I'm happy for you. He was happy. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand. He used to FaceTime me every day because he used to tell me, Mom, I don't want no international call bills, like high bills. So he used to FaceTime me. So that's how he would talk to me all the time and everything. So that's how we spoke all the time and through text, you know. So when the day that he went missing, it was August 31st. August 30th, me and him were texting. And you know, Okinawa is 13 hours ahead from us. So when we were texting, it was over there. When we stopped texting, that I received his last text was around 1 o'clock in the morning, Okinawa time. Okay, and it was weird because he never stops texting without telling me, Mommy, I love you. Mommy, my phone is dying. If my phone dies, you know, if the phone hangs up, it's because the phone died or I lost signal. That's how he would tell me. You know, he would tell me that in case the phone will hang up, because he knew I would get worried that he's in another state, in another country, and you know, I'm over here. He's over there alone. So that night, that I didn't read after we was texting, and then he stopped. So in my mind, I said, well, maybe he fell asleep. Maybe he fell asleep or his phone died. He would text me the next day. I didn't get a text the next day, which is weird because he would text me back. Like say, Mom, sorry, my phone died or something. He didn't. So I said, okay, let me wait. I waited another day, nothing. So I called my youngest son that he was in the Marines too. And he was in training. And I said, have you spoken to your brother? And he said, no, last week, but I called him. I said, because he's not answering me. So he tried calling him and he never answered. Then I asked my second oldest daughter the same thing. And she said, I spoke to him a few days ago, but I tried to reach out to him again. She did nothing. I said, they said, Mommy, maybe he's busy. I said, doesn't sound like him. That's not him. He would have texted me back. You know, if his phone died or he was busy or anything that must have, he would text me back and say, oh, Mommy, I fell asleep. Or Mommy, my phone died, or I don't have, he would tell me. Oh, because he always tells me I love you before he hangs up or anything. So days kept going by and nothing. He wasn't, then I started texting him, no answer, and I was worried, nothing. Then September 5th, I get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning from the colonel asking me if my son was at my house with me. And I froze because I was like, I started looking everywhere. Then I froze. I paused for a moment. And I said, wait a minute. He's in Okinawa, Japan. He's with you. How will he come all the way to Massachusetts? You hold his passport, you know? And I said, why? Is everything okay? And they said, well, your son has been missing since August 31st. I said, and you calling me now 5 days after? And he said, well, I took it as a courtesy to call you. I said, why isn't the police calling me? He said, because I took it out of courtesy to call you because they would take forever. I said, no, you call me because it was your job to call me. That's why. And then he blew me off a little bit because he asked me for updated pictures of my son so they could look for him to see if they find him. I'm like, this is a base, a military base, where you have updated pictures of all your Marines, your soldiers, everybody. You have cameras everywhere. How is it that you need updated pictures? Well, me being a mom, I sent it because I want to find my son. And what they didn't know is that I have access to everything of my son. He had me on his accounts, his bank accounts, his cell phone, everything. So I could see everything. So me, I started looking everywhere, you know, and I wasn't thinking smart. I should have never trusted them because when they were asking me questions, I was giving them information thinking they will really want to help. They were really helping me. We're going to help me when they didn't. And I realized all this. I told her the last time, right, Heather? I realized they were lying to me. because everything that I gave, it was me helping them. But now I'm thinking, I wasn't that I was only helping them. Was it because they were trying to shut the people that contacted me? Instead of saying that they're gonna interview them because they're still working on the case, working on leads. So it's a lot. If I keep telling you, I'd be hours telling you about everything.
It's very confangled.
And then on top of that, when they told me that the roommate, because I asked for the roommate, I said, so what happened with the roommate? They said, well, the roommate didn't notify until the 4th that my son never returned to his room. And I said, why would he wait 4 days? I know it was Labor Day weekend. I know that. So they have a name for it, the 96 something they call it. So I said, okay, but still, if you know, because he said on the report, he said it, Ronald was the kind of kid that would be either playing the game, eating, working out, work. That's the same routine he had in the States. It's the same routine he had over there. So he said that. And why wouldn't you go report him or look for him before? I guess he was nervous. I don't know, because you can't believe everything now, But they said, the roommate said that my son left with a 12-pack of beer to hang out with the sergeant and everything. And when they said the 12-pack beer, I already saw the red flag there, because my son don't drink beer like that. So I said, beer. I said, if you would have told me a bottle of Henny or a bottle of Patron, I would believe that, oh man, he was going to go, get drunk or drink. But beer? Nah. So they said that they have different stories. They said that my son went to met up with the sergeant at a bus stop. And then they walked from there to the sergeant's house, and my son was getting acquainted with another private Marine, and that they put Spanish music, so that the girl got up, the private Marine got up, started dancing, and she noticed that my son got up and left, but that she didn't think nothing wrong. She just asked the sergeant, like, where's Ronnie? They call him Ronnie. And he said, I don't know. So he texted him. So she said she didn't think nothing wrong. So she didn't ask him, like, did he text you back? And when they told me that story first, I said, you know what? If he was bored, first of all, he doesn't dance Spanish music. Okay. Second of all, I said, if he was bored there, he might have got up, to go back to his room to do what he could do there if he's bored in there doing nothing, And I told him it's strange, because all he likes to do, he's not a hangout person like that. So all he likes to do is PlayStation. And, he used to play PlayStation with my grandkids all the time. Late at night, he used to call me, Ma, can you put my nephew on the game? So when I said that, they told me, oh, yeah. So one of the Marines the private said that he was playing PlayStation with them in one of the sergeant's room apartment. And that he got up to go, he got up and they asked him if he was okay. And he knocked on the bathroom to say something to the sergeant, but the sergeant didn't hear him. So by the time the sergeant got out, Ronald was already gone. And then he asked one of the privates, was Ronnie? And they said, oh, he stepped out to make a call, but that they never saw him move to go look for him or see if he was okay. So I told them, says, that's the second story you're giving me. Second different story. And then I asked them, where's my son's glasses? Because he can't hardly see without them. So where's that? Because they found my son with no glasses. And they also try to say he was drunk. They say he was drunk, that he might have, they said so many things. He might have tripped. Or they said a lot of things. He had his head on the dumpster, which that wasn't the NCIS that said that about the dumpster and the drunk. That was when I put a petition out there, people that were there started writing on those posts and started saying that what I was told was not true. So who's saying the truth? I don't know. But the NCIS said they put They say, well, they were going to wait for the toxicology report to come back in order to know if he was drunk or not. So when the toxicology report came back, it came out negative. He was clean. He wasn't drunk, nothing. So they put a $5,000 rewards out there, which $5,000, nobody's going to talk for $5,000. Nobody's going to risk their life for that. And I even asked them, can you raise it up? Or if I have to give you the money to raise it up, I give it to you. Never answered me, never told me anything. They said, I got to first get permission. Nothing till this day, nothing. The Congress, whatever, they wrote to them and told them nothing. They still nothing, you know. And then the glasses, to this day, can't find them. But you want to know something else? They told me they found a pair of glasses in his backpack that he left behind. So I'm like, why would he put his glasses in the backpack and go to a ditch 200 feet away and throw himself on a ditch, which it was at 12 feet to 15 deep down the concrete, they said, and the picture they sent me. Does that make any sense? Doesn't make any sense, you know? So I told them, like, you think I'm dumb? You think you're gonna fool me? I'm not stupid. Me and my kids, all 5 of them, we have a very close relationship. And they tell me everything. And what they didn't know is that my son used to tell me everything. And we spoke, when I told the colonel that I spoke to my son every day through FaceTime, he's like, oh, you speak to him every day? I say, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And he's like, oh, he didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say, you know? So it's like, I know they're covering up for somebody, and I feel like that sergeant knows something, or he got something to do with it. I don't know, because, and then there's supposedly the sergeant, I was told the sergeant did not know that my son was missing until he went to the post office to bring his backpack, because he didn't know where my son lived at. So when he got there, that's when he found out that my son was missing, when I know that's a lie. That's a lie. He had to know. How you're a sergeant and you don't know where he lives? And anyways, what is a sergeant doing hanging out with privates? Everybody knows you're not supposed to. You know? So it's like, I have family that are veterans and family that are still in the military. They even said it. You know? So, yeah. And then on top of it, at the airport, they gave me the wrong casket. First, before that, they were telling me, please, they were persistently telling me to please not have an open casket. When I said I was going to resume my son, they told me not to waste money. I said, that's not wasting money, because I want to know if that's my son. You're constantly, persistently telling me to have a closed casket. And it took you a couple of days after you came to give me the news that my son was found dead, you know? And then when we go to the airport, we were there, and I still remember that day like it happened yesterday. We were there, we were literally watching them, looking at the casket, if you want to call that a casket, for like 45 minutes or maybe more, me and my family. And then he told me, the Marine told me, are you ready? And I said, yeah. So when I see that they're bringing the box down, if you would have seen that box, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I said it, because I don't have hair in my tongue. I don't care what they think. I don't care. I said it just like that. I said, my son, like, he serves the country, and you bring him on that piece of shit box. I told him just like that. And he said, oh, it gets changed over there. I said, so you telling me it gets changed? They changed his body in the right casket that I picked. Say, yeah. I said, okay, I'm new at this. I don't know anything about this. So we did the whole grieving that they do. And as we were leaving the airport, before we left the exit, we get stopped. My son's captain called them, asking where we were at. And they told him we were leaving with Ronny. And he said, no, you're not, because I'm standing right next to him. And my youngest son had to go back to the back of the airport with the funeral director and get the right casket. When they came back to me, because they had me wait in the front, they told me, do you want to see if it's Ronald? And I said, okay. So when they opened the hearse, it was the casket that I picked with dog tags. So did they lie to me again? Because they told me it gets changed in the airport, right? I mean, in the funeral. You know, so at first I used to be like, the Keiko was really nice, you know, but then again, like I said, I don't have nothing against a lot of militaries because not all are the same. But remember, they all train. They all train to act a certain way. So what am I supposed to believe, you know? At the end of the day, that was still my son. And that was disrespectful. That was real disrespectful. You know, so it's like, and to this day, I don't have no closure. Nothing. Nothing. I had to pay a doctor. I had to pay to resume my son. I had to pay another doctor to do a DNA and to do another autopsy for me, which he did. And he told me this, he said, what happened to your son was not an accident. He said, he died of blood for trauma. He got hit with a hard shot object and he was not expecting it because it was in back of his head right here. I think it was the right side. I don't know because I haven't seen him. And he told me that my son was decomposed from here to his waist and not waist down. And when we was at the funeral, they kept constantly trying to convince the funeral director to please convince me not to have an open casket. That she was getting really frustrated about that. You know, so it's like there's so many kind of disrespects and so many lies.
So have you gotten an autopsy report? Any
I have-
photos? Do you have the photos?
I have it, but nobody wants me to, then my family and even Manuel doesn't want me to watch it. He watched it and they told me not to look at it because to stay with my son.
But you've had somebody, you've had somebody view them and.
Yes,
Awesome.
I did. And they don't want me to look at it. They don't want me to, they said to stay with the image that I have of my son.
Did they find anything suspicious when they looked at the photos?
Well, the doctor that I hired, he said it wasn't an accident. And Manuel, the private investigator, because I had to, I don't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. So I had to get a private investigator because for the past almost 4 years, they keep telling me the same thing. Oh, and they kept saying that there was no footage of my son in the base at all. How is there no footage of my son anywhere? You know, and my son, you know, they have to log in and log out. So how is it that he log in, but he never logged out? You know, so those are things that, and I told him, like, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. And I know somebody knows something and nobody's speaking. I don't know
So
why, but
he never logged off base,
of the barrack to the other barrack.
off the barrack to the other.
Yeah, from the barrack, because he was in base. They found him in base.
Okay.
He was
Okay,
200
so
feet
it's
away.
at another barrack.
From
At
where-
his sergeant's barrack, is that what you're saying?
at the sergeant's barrack. That's where he was at.
And they were
Sergeant
all
in his,
in the
yeah,
barracks.
is this,
In the
you can
barrack.
drink in the barracks. You can drink in the barracks.
You can, okay.
Huh?
Barracks is party time. It's like, you can drink in the barracks.
Well,
It's
I
like
knew that-
college.
Yeah.
So was this sergeant like was this sergeant in his unit, like in his company or his platoon? Do you know anything about
I
that?
was told that he worked with my son in the post.
Okay.
I was told. He met
In the private?
I told that my son met him. My son met him 10 days before this happened to him. And they exchanged numbers. And my son made a call August 31st to my cousin. I'm writing to her. No, he wrote to her through Snapchat saying, can you please FaceTime me? And, you know, out here was morning time and over there was late night. So she had to get ready, and she said, I can't call you because I'm getting ready to go to work. And I guess he said, okay. And then this happened. So I'm over here thinking, was he trying to tell her something? Because I'm trying to figure all this out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
based on how he is and how we know him, he's not the type of, he's just gonna go. He went to make a call. Maybe because the music was loud, but he would have come back. And the barracks, I've seen how they look, and these like dorms. How you didn't hear anything? And I went to the basing where he did book him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I told the NCIS, you know what? You say you're doing your investigation. And I already went through 3 NCIS. 3 NCIS. The first one, then the second one. Now I have another one because the other 2 are no longer in the case.
Mine changed twice.
Mine too. And right now, I don't even know. Supposedly, I'm supposed to have 2 of them more working, and they're supposed to contact me, and they haven't. So that's why I'm like, I'm done. And I said it. I'm gonna keep fighting, and I'm gonna fight for justice for my son, and I'm not gonna stop. And I told them, you do your job. I'm doing mine over here. I'm gonna do it from over here because I know how my son was. So
being a damn good investigator.
Huh?
I said being a damn good investigator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I told.
I don't know about. We have so many questions for you. I mean, I have so many questions. I don't know about Terry and Heather.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Have Congress helped you at all?
So at the beginning, Congress, they were helping me. When this happened with my son, the one that was Congress before, the one that's Congress now, she was really interested in what happened with my son to help me. And then she left the other one continuing because she said, we need to find out what happened with him, because everybody, it's a small town. So everybody knew my son and knew us, and they knew he was not a troublemaker. So a lot of people are questioning, like, what happened? This is not he's not the kind of young man that be getting in trouble. He doesn't go nowhere. He used to tell us, I give you $5 to put gas in my car so I could bring him down the street to his friend's house because he wouldn't work at night. So you're going to tell me he walked 200 feet away from the sergeant's house late night with no glasses? Come on. So, and then I went to the other Congress, and the Congress, they are helping me. And they actually, when the $5,000 reward flyer came out, we thought it was working. And so one time, me and my son's best friend clicked on it, and it wasn't working. So we told the Congress, I said, wow, how long this hasn't been working? Because we didn't know. So we told the Congress, and they wrote to them, and it started working. They made sure it worked. They even updated it. Right now, I don't know if it's working because I haven't checked. And because, as I said already, I know they're lying on me. I'm doing my own investigation, and I got the private investigator to help me because I don't believe anything they say anymore. Oh, I'm working. This is what they tell me for the past 3.5 years. I'm working on the case. I'm working on leads. I even asked for DNA. Nothing. I haven't got no answer. Come on, there's no DNA. There had to be DNA on my son from somebody else. But nothing. They still would say, oh, please be careful what you say so you don't jeopardize the case. What am I jeopardizing when I don't know anything but what you're telling me? So I'm still in the.
I mean, what was Congress able to do? I mean, they're helping you, but what were they able to do?
To be honest, I'm still in the same situation, so I don't think anything has been done. Like, they might have tried, but they haven't.
Have they sent letters to the command and to the base? And
they did. Okay. They actually did, and they told me that they told them that it's an open investigation and they're still working on the case. That's what they keep saying. They don't give no information. The lawyers that I had, the same thing. They said since they were talking with me, they were going through me, they weren't contacting back the lawyers. They didn't want to give them
And your private
So now the
investigator.
Now I have the private investigator, and now, you know, they better put their shoes really good on. Huh?
Yeah. What's he able to do for you?
Well, he has to, like he said, he did see the autopsy, which he said that he said it was definitely a murder, he said. And but he don't want me to look at it. And he does have to go to Okinawa because, you know, of course he has to go to the crime scene and everything. So he did tell me those are the steps that he has to do right now. He has to go to Okinawa and go to the crime scene and get to all the steps and then continue, because I found out that a lot of the people that were there, now they're civilians. I don't know who they are. Who knows if they have spoken to me? I don't know. You know, but I don't, anybody that I find weird, I don't tell them anything. That they tell us, oh, I knew your son. We were good friends. Yeah, you weren't good friends when you weren't there to protect him. And I keep saying, you know, what is that? What's about, you know, when they say no brother left behind, what happened there?
Right.
What happened with no brother left behind? You know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And
has anybody come forward, like from the party, saying that they know what happened? Has anybody contacted you?
So people have contacted me. I don't know if they were in the party, but when I did, like I said, the petition on the GoFund and they saw the story, they started saying, some people started saying, oh, that's not what happened. That's not really what happened. And there's, you know, in Justice for Ronny page, I follow a lot of people, a lot of awareness. They follow me, everything. And they, you know, trying to help me get the word out as well. And people that were sharing my posts told them, so if you know what happened, why don't you give the family closure? They said, well, that's not exactly, a couple of people say, oh, that's not exactly what happened. I know this kid, he was in my barrack, and out of respect for him, because I know the investigation is still going on, I'm not gonna say anything. What are you trying to say by that? And then another one was, oh, he was heartbroken. Oh, because that's another thing. They were trying to say, they asked me, the colonel asked me, was he depressed? Did he had a heart breakup? Did he tell you that he wanted to come home? Did he had any loan debts, school loan debts? When he said all that, I said, first of all, he wasn't depressed. Second of all, he did not have a heart breakup. Okay. He already been through that stage before. Third of all, no, he didn't have no loan debts. And every time, and if he did, he will pay them because he pays his stuff. But my thing is, they have his cell phone still. And they telling me that to this day, they're saying they can't get into his cell phone. That they've been trying to get into his cell phone because he had a 7 code. When I know that's a lie, because at first I have my son's Texas, and at first they will go green that he didn't have no service or the phone was dead. Now they're showing, they said red, that they read them. And they're telling me, oh, it might be a glitch because the phone is in a machine. No, it's not. You went in already. Why are you lying to me? Like you thought I was born yesterday.
Yeah, and the same thing is Caleb's had a long code on his phone too, and they basically refused to open his phone.
They refused to open it?
They had an affidavit to do that and to press that forward, and then they stopped and never did.
And in my case, they used Brandon's fingerprint to get in his phone while he lay dead on the tarmac. They have ways of getting in.
That's
I did not know.
I know they did. I know they did. And that's why also that's why the private investigator said we need to get that phone.
You haven't gotten it?
No, they haven't given it me because the case is still open. They haven't gave me his cell phone. I haven't even received his military ID. His military watch,
received
I don't have it. All I received was his clothes, the little TV he had there, and his games, but I did not receive his military watch, his wallet with his military ID. I received his dog tags now after 3 years because I kept persisting asking.
Wow.
A couple of months.
who, I'm sorry,
No,
who has his electronics? NCIS?
because they have it, they said they have it in the machine trying to break in the code. Like I was born yesterday.
And in my case, or Brandon's case, they sent his phone and his computer to the FBI.
But that's what they told me first that they did. Now, I don't know because they said they have in a machine that they had it. So how is it that the FBI wasn't able to break into it? With so much how upgraded the technology is right now. That's what the private investigator said. So the private investigator, he's an 18th Airborne, he's an Army officer, military intelligence veteran. And now he's a private investigator. Huh?
Heather, is this the guy, Heather?
Gomez.
I like him.
You
Yes.
like it? That's the private investigator.
So do you
Nice.
have to pay for him to go to Okinawa, Gloria? Can you tell us, can you tell everybody about your GoFundMe page?
The GoFund is so I you know, to help me to continue the investigation. You know,
Right.
so we could continue investigation with Manuel Gomez so he can go and do what he has to do,
Yeah.
because not only he's not doing it over there, he's doing it over there, he's also going to be doing over here, because if it's true that the other ones are here, he has to do it here too. So that's
Here's my,
mhm.
all right, Terry, Gloria, with the FBI, can the FBI investigate the Marine Corps for this murder? Can they investigate NCIS?
They
Can
can
Gloria-
if they want to.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
We have been told that the FBI does not have jurisdiction on a military establishment.
It's a federal freaking base.
Yep, it is. And even and I hate to keep bringing Brandon's case up, but there was I think it was an E8 or an E9, go into the Arizona DMV computer database and look for Brandon's driver's license, and ordered his driver's license. And that's across state lines, which means the FBI can step in, but they won't touch it. They keep telling us it's because they don't have jurisdiction on a military base.
Oh. Okay, but
So who investigates the military? No one.
The military.
the
That's it.
military. And I don't think that the military should be investigating their own
No.
self.
And that's
Absolutely
what
not.
this has
An
to
independent
stop.
agency, exactly. I believe
Yeah, we
that
need an independent agency,
Mhm.
independent investigations.
exactly,
Complete independent.
exactly, because that's
Right.
having the military investigate their own selves. That's how they cover everything up.
Yep,
They do
Yes.
themselves.
Standard operating procedure.
that's
That's what
right.
they do.
You got it.
And I
Mhm.
You got it.
thought, what's her name? That Congresswoman, Spears, I thought she was the one that was spearheading, the mission that the military does not investigate themselves and does outside investigations, because that started at Fort Hood. Does anybody know what the status of that is? That's something we need to look
Dust
into.
in the wind.
I don't know.
It just blows away. Nobody
Mhm.
pays attention to it. It just blows away. And the DOD doesn't want to have a blemish on its image. So then the media doesn't cover any of this. And we have to get America involved in what's going on. We have to You know, this is our plea for help.
Mhm.
Please, we need you to share these stories. These are
Yes.
high profile cases that nobody is talking about. Ongoing investigations. After your son's been bludgeoned to death, you're having to go hire a private investigator to go investigate and find out. Really, I mean, like, and then you're meeting fraudulent people along the way. They're trying to bushwhack you and
Yes.
trip you up and get inside information, playing on our kindness and our love as mothers.
Yes.
This is absurd, and it's horrific. It's that what they're doing is they're poking us, continuing to perpetuate our grief, and it's
hurtful, and it's wrong. We should not have to be going through this. And you know that the roommate of my son, he said when he notified it the fourth day, that his superior told him, let's wait another day to see if he comes into work. That's how they found out that my son was missing, supposedly, because
How was that? How did they figure it out? Because I know it happened on a 4-day weekend. He went missing on a Friday.
When he didn't show up to work.
So that would Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called you on Wednesday.
Yes, they called me the 5th. Yep, exactly. They called me the 5th that he was missing. And on the 6th, they found him dead. So it was the 5th. That he
so you say, how many days do you say that he laid there then?
5 days.
5 days, yeah. So that, yeah, I mean, Caleb's, I do the math, the last day, it looks like 6.5 days to me.
The medical examiner told me my son, because I asked, that my son passed away that same night, the 31st. So that means my son, they killed him, because I'm going to say just like that. And they threw him in a ditch, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. They killed him, even though they don't like to hear it, that's what they did. They did. And they treated him like a piece of shit. I'm sorry, like trash. And they threw him there to die. That's the way I feel.
You can drop the F-bomb if you want to.
Okay.
Here. If you want to drop the F-bomb,
he was partially,
you don't know.
was he partially buried?
And so yes, we're gonna get to that. So you know how you asked me, Kimberly, if anybody has reached out. A lot of people reached out on through post, and I said that one of the ones, there was a couple of people that found my son, and one of the ones that called my son, that found my son, said that when he found my son had a big gouge, and he had dirt all over him, like they buried him, like they were burying him.
But he
Did
buried
they have
himself.
the
He
photos?
started burying himself in a concrete ditch.
I was just going to say that. They were trying.
And so deep too.
They're blaming the victim. This victim blaming.
And another thing, it's like, if he, wouldn't you think, this is what, and I told them this, that's why I tell them, you think I'm dumb, I'm not dumb. You telling me he fell on a cancer. You know, it's true, because you telling me, you show me the picture, you tell me that he was found on a 12-15 deep concrete ditch, right? And you're gonna tell me he doesn't have no broken bone in his body, but the blow force trauma right here. He would have more than that. He would have broken bodies, neck broken, everything broken, you know? So that's why I say you're lying. Something is off about all this. You covering up for somebody, and I'm gonna find out. I'm not gonna stop, because I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right that they do in their life. They are still serving, you know, and they have all all their dreams. They're doing it. They're making it true, right? All the goals that they wanted to have, they're doing it. with no accountability of anything.
Are you guys starting to see the common thread that runs through all of these
I've been seeing it.
experiences? I don't even like to
I've
call them
been seeing it.
stories anymore, but their stories,
Right.
our experiences, and
Mhm.
our investigation that's,
Well,
you know,
And
I
no
find-
cameras working.
quite frankly, but way better than theirs.
cameras are never working on these
Right.
bases. Cameras are always malfunctioned.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Where
that's-
are our tax dollars going?
I met
Uh,
someone that the same similarity happened, and every time I hear about something, about a story, they always say cameras are not working. How are you keeping all the Marines, the soldiers, Navy, all of them safe?
They're not.
Right.
there's
Especially
just not.
over,
My thing is, why are you recruiting? Why are you recruiting all these young kids? You know, you giving them dreams and everything, and then you killing them.
yeah. And that's
Like-
why we need to tell America so we stop enlisting our kids.
Mm-hmm.
We tell our
And-
kids, do not
Not safe
enlist.
right
No
now.
justice,
Right.
no enlistment.
If you can't protect them, don't recruit
Don't
them.
recruit them. Exactly. Exactly. And this is why I said I'm not giving up. And we uniting families and moms, and I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yes, we are,
Yeah.
you know,
so-
hey, we're shining our beacon of light,
Mhm.
our, you know, these gold stars, we're shining them out. We're saying, hey, you guys, we're here. If something injustice happened like this to your service member, we need you to come join our, you know, our this-
Crusade.
Yeah, crusade. There you go, Terry. Thank you. Words right out of my mouth, literally.
So when you ask me, I'm sorry, so the Congress, they are working
Yeah.
with them, but they still not giving them answers. Because they're still open case. I don't know why that's what they're telling them. And I also spoke to Elizabeth Warren, the US Senator from
Oh.
Massachusetts. So because I requested a congressional investigation. And
Good.
they had called me and spoken to me before I did this with Manuel as well. But before that, I did contact them. They spoke to me and they asked me because they didn't know what happened, because that's another thing. Like a lot of people was not aware of what happened with my son because they kept me with my mouth shut.
Yeah, and then the statute of limitations runs out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Not on murder.
mhm.
Not on murder.
Oh, really?
There are
You
no
know-
statute of limitations on murder.
But they have my son's death as undetermined still, but they can't change it to homicide or to an accident because they said they said they don't have enough. They don't have enough. There's not. Okay, this is what they put on the autopsy. They put for like when his fall, they said they can't put it as accidental because there's no evidence, enough evidence that will qualify it to be, you know what I'm saying? Like there's not enough evidence to put it as accidental.
What about homicide?
And then for homicide, they have to have enough proof, concrete too. That's why it's still undetermined.
Oh, okay, but my question is, he was hit in the back of his head.
Exactly.
Did he do that himself?
No.
Did he throw dirt on himself before he passed away?
Mhm.
Come on, people.
That's what we said. And that's why Manuel said that that's why he said they have to change that because it was a murder. And he saw the autopsy. He saw the autopsy because I couldn't see it. So and then
Was
Huh?
Manuel ever able to determine what instrument could have been possibly used?
he said he feels that that's why he has to go, because for him it looks like it could have been possibly a hammer. But he wants to be sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand. I don't understand what could have, I've been asking myself, like, what happened? Like, what happened there? Like, I have so many versions that I think about, like, was it because, I've heard stories that happens on the rooms, like when they try to do things to girls or whatever. I heard stories, not from my son, but from other people. And I wonder, my son was raised with 4 females. So if he saw something that it wasn't right, he's going to defend them.
Exactly. That was one of my questions. What do you think could someone have had, something out for him?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I have so many theories. Like, I think of that. I think of, like, maybe they wanted him to do something he didn't want to do. He refused to do. And
Retaliation of some sort.
They probably thought that he knew too much and they couldn't let him go, like that. I don't know. Or maybe somebody didn't like him. And they did that to him. It's so many things.
Did he mention to you the day before that he was going to a party?
No.
Do you know? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he never left the barracks. He never logged out of the barrack, that barrack, like his
He went from
barrack.
one barrack to another barrack.
He was murdered in the other barracks?
He was 200 feet away from the barrack. Well, hold on, let me see. Because they said they found in Camp Hansen, and those are his barracks. So
Okay.
I don't now. You know what? Now that's a good question, because
what camp was the other barracks in, and were they NCO barracks? Like sergeant barracks?
Because here's a theory, and I'm just thinking, what if he was murdered in that barracks, and the reason he didn't check out was because they hid him and took him to the other place. So you don't know if he was coerced into going to the party, or if he was friends with anybody that went to the party. You probably don't have any idea of who was at that party or house or barracks.
No.
And my other question, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead,
No.
Terry.
Well, the other question I have, well, I've got 2 more. The toxicology, did they do a toxicology?
Yes.
Was it negative?
It was negative. It was clean. He wasn't drinking, nothing.
No pills, no nothing. That's what I thought.
Nothing.
Now, you mentioned that the Marines told you not to exhume Ronnie's body. How did they know you were going to do that?
Oh, because I said that I had said it already.
Okay.
I had said it when they came to give me the news and my son was missing and they asked me for pictures, I said, I'm going to resume my son because I want to know if that's my son, because they were, they kept telling me to. And then a couple of days after, they told me, I have something else to tell you. And I was like, what? Say, we are really suggesting, and we are really, really don't have an open casket. And I said, why? That you won't have an open. And I said, why? They said, because he was severely decomposed. Said, really? You're going to take that away from me now? So now I can't see my son because he was severely decomposed. And they kept persistently telling me not to. They kept, I found out by the funeral director. She told me, Gloria, out of respect for your son, give him the honor to not look at him. Don't have an open casket. And I said, well, I said, I'm telling you, don't. They taped my son with military tape all over, all around.
What do you mean? What tape?
But my son was taped with military tape all around inside.
His body?
His body.
Like a mummy, right?
Like a mummy.
Heather, you can relate to that, can't you?
Yes, ma'am.
What's this tape?
It's Probably gauze, wouldn't it be a bunch of,
I was told that Caleb was wrapped in a body bag, and then around that plastic body bag is a wool blanket that's wrapped around the body to specification, all pinned properly and what have you. I don't know if that's the same situation. I can't say that for Gloria here, but that's how I was told Caleb's was from his funeral director.
They told me that he was wrapped with military tape like a mummy. And that's why she told me, out of respect for him, to honor him. Because basically, if I wanted to see him, I wasn't gonna see anything. If I was to take the tape,
Right.
everything, they said that my son had maggots. That's what they said. My son, they found maggots on him. A lot of maggots on him. So Elizabeth Warren, we also sent a letter to request a congressional investigation and everything, and all the families that we got united. So we sent to each one of us. So hopefully we hear from them. Hopefully they hear. They will have our back and help us out.
How long
Yeah.
ago?
We sent it like a week ago, I believe it was. I know that
So,
the Elizabeth Warren's the one that works for her assistant, she wrote me back and she said they're gonna look into it and then we'll get back to me. So we'll see.
So it's a group of 19 mothers so far, and we are collecting
19.
sisters that want to join us in this,
Sisters and fathers.
crusade, like Terry said. What
Yes.
did you say, Terry, just now? I'm sorry.
I said mothers and fathers. Anybody.
Mothers and
Sisters.
fathers.
yes,
Yes, I apologize.
Yes, of course.
and
Siblings.
so what is your mission with the 19 mothers so far, Heather? Are you guys going to Congress together? Is that the plan?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're gonna go to Congress together.
Good.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
In numbers, that's how you do it. You do it
Yeah.
in numbers.
Yes.
And then they'll pay attention, not just one or twosies. Onesies
No
and
one's
twosies. You've got it.
experience is more important than the other. We are here to,
Right.
I'll step aside. That's what this platform is all about, for our families to be able to tell what
exactly.
their experience has been and have a voice. But yes, we are coming together as families, and we are putting our foot down, and we are saying enough. Like,
Yeah.
listen to us. We are regular people. We are the people that are hiring you.
Exactly.
We need your ear right now, Congress.
Exactly.
And many have tried before. Many have tried before. Terry knows how hard it is to get a bill passed. The Brandon Act. She knows how hard it is.
Yes.
And it should not be that hard.
No, and she had to hit every one of us have to hit the ground with our boots on the ground, running, and we are right smack dab in the middle of an actual war on our own territory, and one that we never knew existed.
Yes.
Until what happened to our service members happened, and more families we see every day, we hear about every day. And we just want to be that beacon of light for people to go, okay, here's my footing. I have some ground and footing. And it's difficult to take in the information that there's no justice, because you immediately just have all these questions and your heart's just shattered.
And you think Congress is going to help you. You go in thinking, oh, my congressman, my senator, they'll help me. This is a horrible case. And they don't.
They don't even respond.
Right.
My senators haven't even responded to me.
Wow.
Me either. Not on the case.
That's no lie.
And they're working for the people. They're working.
Yeah.
We're voting them. We're voting them. And isn't it voting time right now? Isn't it time to vote, like primary?
Yeah, in November. It's coming
November.
soon.
Okay.
It's November, right? November.
Yeah, we need to like call them and say, hey, buddy, you know, we're gonna vote for the other guy unless you step up for us, for our
Exactly.
fucking service members. They are not stepping up.
Exactly.
They don't have the balls to go to the Pentagon, to the Joint Staff and confront them and say to the Marine Corps Commandant, what the hell is going on in the Marine Corps? Because Okinawa has a history
Mhm.
of.
Oh yes, they do. When I searched my son, when this happened to my son, and I put his name, I came across of another one that before my son on March 2018, that he was found dead in his barracks in his room. And I questioned them about it because when the captain and the staff sergeant, that was my son's staff sergeant, came to bring my son, we went to a room because they wanted to show me the pictures and everything, you know, where they found him and everything. And they I'm sorry, I just sort of I'm just remembering, you know, when you start remembering everything that happened, and it's like I'm just remembering the face he put when I asked him for my son's glasses, because he looked at me like he didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Who is that?
To him, that captain in the funeral, I asked him, where's my son's glasses? And he looked at me like he didn't know what I was talking about.
Did you get the backpack?
No, I don't have nothing. I don't have the backpack. I don't have the glasses because they can't find it. I don't have his cell phone. I don't have his military watch. I don't have his windbreaker that he had, the military windbreaker.
So they're holding that evidence because the case is still open.
Open.
Yeah.
You need to get.
How many people?
Huh?
Go ahead, Terry.
You need to tell your senator that. Tell Elizabeth Warren that. Tell her you demand his personal belongings.
Okay.
They've had them long enough. And you could tell her too that you're afraid they are going to sabotage it. And you want it back as it was the day he passed away.
Exactly. Because it's like
Demand it.
Okay. I didn't know I could do that because they keep telling me, oh, that's proof for that's like that's evidence, I guess. That's what they said.
They've had it for 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
3.5 years. They've got enough crap from his personal belongings. They're yours. It's been too long.
It has been too long.
They've had them. They can clone it. They can do whatever they want. You want it back. There's something in all of that is damning to them. And if they haven't erased it, it should still be there. That is yours. Those are yours.
Isn't that where you said his glasses were? They found a pair of glasses.
Also, they found a pair of glasses in his backpack. And I asked them to send me a picture of it. And they sent me the picture and it wasn't his. And then I told them, don't tell me it's the military glasses, because my son used to say he would not wear those funny, ugly shit like that. He said, that's what he used to say.
They're birth control glasses. They call them birth control glasses because nobody's going to get laid wearing those glasses.
Yes.
Caleb had a pair.
So I have all his old glasses. I said, so, and my thing is, I told them, so why were his glasses, let's say it's his glasses, right? Why would they be in the backpack and go walk to the ditch with no glasses on, where he can't hardly see? Does that make any sense?
What?
I feel that what happened to my son happened in that apartment. Or, I don't know, somebody must be like, oh, could it be when he was talking to me on the phone, texting me? That's how I feel. Because he stopped texting me and then he never responded to me and his brother. I feel there's something wrong. something ain't adding up with the timing and everything you're telling me. And that's why I said that I'm not stupid and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep going and going and going. You took the most important thing in my life, that it was my child, one of my kids. All my kids are, but you know, my son. What can you do now? They know where to find me, so whatever. But I'm gonna keep fighting into the end. Like I said before, remember Heather? What did I say? I'm coming. And I'm coming hard. I'm not stopping.
You're not gonna quit, man.
I'm not.
You have a tenacity of a bulldog.
I'm not.
Not gonna
I'm
let
not.
go.
Back to the senators and the congressmen, the Armed Forces Committee.
Mhm.
Are they telling you the specifics of what they are doing? Like, and are you getting updates? Like, they need to be telling you exactly what they're doing, who they're freaking talking to. Are they talking to, you know, the chief of staff of the Marine Corps? Are they talking to freaking Mark Miley and General, you know, Lloyd Austin? These guys need to be involved. I know, Terry. I know. They don't care. They're not going to do anything. But like, I feel
You
like
try.
if I was talking to my senator, I want to know, you better give me an update with the specific itemized details of what you're doing to help me with this case.
To be
So
honest,
that you know, yeah,
I
they're not
haven't
giving you
heard-
that.
I haven't heard anything. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to write to me or to call me. I haven't heard anything right now. I know
Armed
the
Forces
Congress
Committee is a
were.
joke.
I'm sorry, something popped up. From the Congress,
Oh.
they had sent me a letter what they were going to be doing. But the NCIS keeps telling them that they're working on the case, so they can't give a lot of information. I don't
They're
understand.
just like,
They say that.
so they're not pushing on them. They're not like pressuring.
Have you demanded to speak with Ronnie's chain of command through your senator?
No.
Demanded.
Oh, really?
And you know, just to let you know, you have the right to demand whatever you want. You lost your son. They are covering up the death of your son. That gives you 100%
You have the right. Yeah,
Yes.
you have the right to.
and demand that investigation be done. They should be done by now. It's been 3.5 years.
I received a command and investigation report from the Marines.
Oh, you
But
did?
I did. I did get that. And
What was that?
everything was all lies, because they witnessed, they interviewed the people that were there, which, you know, they don't put names. They don't put
Right,
names.
everything's
of the
redacted.
witnesses, but they didn't hesitate to leave one name in there. I can't say no name right now, but I tell you that much. They didn't hesitate to leave a name. There's a name there. And they didn't hesitate to point it out neither. But they kept saying, the report says, like, they interviewed the other ones, and like, you know, the ones that were there and people that knew him there, the Marines, and they kept saying that they were there and that they were at the gathering. Some of them said that they wrote to him and they were supposed to meet up. They didn't say nothing wrong, but some of them said that he was drinking, which it wasn't true, because he was not drunk. So some of them said things that were true and some of them said lies.
Okay. Just a suggestion.
Mhm.
You need to rebut that command line of duty.
Okay.
Word, line by line. We did that with ours. It doesn't, I think it just puts things in perspective for some people. You know, they've got this and then they've got your rebuttal, and reading it together, they can put it together and say, okay, well, she thinks this is a lie, and then they can follow up with it. It's just a rebuttal. And another thing, have you done any Freedom of Information Act submissions at all?
I didn't even know about that.
Okay, we need to get you going on those.
Okay, hold on. Let me grab a piece of paper. Hold on. I need a piece of paper because I need to write everything.
And this is the beauty of what we do right here on the front lines.
Sharing that knowledge, supporting the Gold Star moms who are lost in the sauce, just like you were in the beginning, Heather.
Yeah, if it
You
wasn't
know?
for Terry here and Shanta Block, I wouldn't have been able to know what to do either. You know?
So I found
And
out.
they,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
they count on that. Yeah, they count on you not being
Yes.
able to not know how to navigate all that red tape.
Yep. Okay,
Okay,
what'd you find
Terry.
out, Gloria?
So I found out too, right, that the flyer that they have put out for $5,000. When I did that petition and I started sharing also the flyer, someone reached out, not someone, a couple people reached out and said, how come we never seen that flyer in Okinawa, Japan, in the base? And I said, what do you mean? I said, we never seen that flyer. I said, that flyer was made over there and it was supposed to be shared over there. And I was told that it was never was. And you know what they did? They shared it themselves. And a lot of people started saying, oh my God, how come we didn't know? Because a few people thought that when my son went missing, that they found, and they said they found my son, that my son was still alive. They didn't even know that. Yeah. I have heard so many things when I did that petition on the GoFund that people had wrote comments and wrote about the people that were there in the Marines. So that's why I kept telling the NCIS, I'm like, you do your job, I'm doing mine. Remember, I put a petition, I put a petition, and, my son used to always say I was worse than a private investigator. He used to say that because he said, when something gets in my head, I don't stop. And he wasn't wrong. And you know what? They killed my son and I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to find out and I'm going to get to it. I don't care how long it takes me.
That's right.
I don't care. So it's the Freedom of Act.
So the FOIA.
Give us a little class on that.
Okay.
It's you can do it online, and we will send you the link.
Okay.
I don't have the link at the top of my head, but there's a DOD FOIA and there's a Navy/Marine. Each branch has their own FOIA system, except the Marines are under the Navy base, or excuse me, it's under the Navy. But when you choose what you want, the drop down will say Marines on there. So you just click Marines and see what's a Marine. You can basically request anything you want to.
Okay.
So my suggestions to you, and again, these are just suggestions, and I did it myself. That's why I know. I would do his service record.
Okay.
His entire service record, and make sure you put the dates from the time he went in, and do it until I'd say a month to 2 months after his death, just in case.
Okay.
You always cover yourself.
Okay. When he went into service, when he joined, like from boot camp?
Before boot camp, when he signed the paperwork, he had to fill out all that paperwork. That will come with it.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll get the entire thing. That's the only thing I got was his enlistment paperwork. Okay. And you want to do these all separate. So the service record is by itself. you're going to want his entire medical file. And again, the same dates. And this is a completely different FOIA because if you put all this on one FOIA, they're just going to choose one thing to do and you won't get the rest. And if you do it individually like this, it'll be easier for you to track because they give you a tracking number.
Yeah.
And you can go back into the system to see where it's at.
Okay.
They do email you updates as it progresses, but
Okay.
another thing you might want to consider doing is requesting the command climate surveys, because who knows, maybe the climate was horrible, toxic, abusive. And they are allowed at the end of these command climate surveys, if they want to do a written, if they want to write down anything that they want somebody to know, they're going to do it at the end. Last comments or final comments or whatever. You want those. And everything you ask for, you say unredacted. It will never happen, but you're requesting it.
Okay.
And you might, again, this is just something I did. You might want to FOIA a SAPRO, SAPRO. And what that is a, if he filed a sexual assault or sexual harassment claim, it's going to be under that. I'm not saying that he was by any means. But if he turned somebody in who did that, it might come back. And that could be a possible reason why your son died. Okay. That's the only reason. I'm not saying he was or anything.
No, I know, I understand.
In my opinion, the most information I got was I requested, and I'll give you the exact wording in a document so you know what to say. I requested all correspondence, meaning emails, notes, memos. I even put on their sticky notes. Any correspondence relating or having anything to do with Brandon's name. And I put from the time Brandon got to the command, and I did it for a month after. I got more information doing that and I put in there, it's got to be between his command, his commanding officer, his executive officer. I mean, I knew all these people, so I listed their names.
Okay.
If you don't know the names, just put, I think they go by CO. I don't know if they go by CO, sergeant or whatever. Anyway, so I did it from the time Brandon got to that command until a month after his death, because trust me, they talk a lot after his death. You might even want to go, since yours is still ongoing, you might want to go an extra year, just to be safe.
Okay.
That's how by me doing that, I found out that they knew that Patrick and I were going to a Gold Star event.
Really?
Yep, in California. We don't know why they even cared. It was a Gold Star event. They were honoring the ones who died by suicide that year. They were concerned for some reason. I also found out that we heard that they ordered extra security for Brandon's memorial because we were not invited and they did not want us there. I found that paperwork in there too. So we did not go to the memorial service they had. I found out that another thing that was stated to us when I don't know if you know our son's story, but when the casualty assistant officers came to our door, the command told them to tell them that he was alive and in the hospital. We now have that paperwork. We also have paperwork that shows that there was no heartbeat at the scene. But in this other paperwork, it said Brandon was taken in an unknown condition to an unknown facility where he died in the parking lot of that facility. We have that paperwork.
Mhm.
Now, by doing that,
By doing it.
so it corroborates the Keiko's story, the casualty assistant officer's story about what the command did.
Oh,
But though I would FOIA those individually.
okay, okay.
I've learned a lot here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, because I didn't
I
know.
didn't realize I
any
could
of
do
that.
that. The notes and stuff. That's
I thought of that.
I didn't know any of that. I found out that the NCIS only gives you the investigation report when they're done with the investigation. But
That's another thing. FOIA, the NCIS report.
Okay. Mhm.
Because I had to do that. They made me do that. When it was done, they told me it was done and that I had to FOIA it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm entitled to that. I'm his mom. And they're like, no, you have to FOIA it. So we had to FOIA it.
Oh, okay.
So
So that's what
I don't know. But FOIA that, again, these are all separate FOIAs. I just have to make that clear because if you don't, they're going to pick and choose which ones they want.
Okay, okay. That's good to know. See, I learned something new because I did not know. I'm only going by what I should be able to have all that. Just like they gave me the commanding report from the Marines when they did the investigation, but I haven't got anything else. That's
And
it.
you should not pay a dime because there's on their form, it says, how much are you willing to pay? I always put, I shouldn't have to pay anything because I'm his mother. I never had to.
Okay.
But I just did that so that they knew that I wasn't going to pay. They have to give it to me.
Okay.
Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you.
No, that's good to know. You know, the NCIS gives me updates just once a month.
They do?
Yeah, but all they say is the same thing over and over. They're working on the case. They're working on leads.
Do you ask questions?
They're just.
Yeah, I ask questions and I talk a lot. Like, I know they must be saying, like, this woman, I don't care. I tell them, like, I'm not dumb. I'm like, I wasn't born yesterday. Like, I know you're lying. Like, you're going to tell me you don't have no DNA. You're going to tell me that no cameras are working, that my son there was no footage of my son nowhere in the base. Really? They only had a footage of my son that when he went to buy, I guess he was at a store and that was it, buying something and that was it. Also, so my son made a purchase in Subway, and I have the bank statements. And you know, when you do purchase in the bank statement, and if it's a weekend and it's a holiday, it will tell you the day it posted and then the day it clears. So I questioned them because there was a purchase made September 1st, but it cleared September 4th, which it makes sense because it was the holiday weekend. They're trying to tell me that they spoke to Subway and no, that purchase was made before that, the 31st, something like that, the 30th. Said, no, it wasn't. It's not on the statement. So they sent me a printout because I asked for it. The printout doesn't have the last four of the card, no signature of my son. I told them, you know, that paper that you sent me, I could do that myself. I could print that myself. You know, so, and they're telling me, oh no, the machine, they said the machine was acting up. Like,
Of course it was.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry, guys.
it's okay.
The
It's okay.
NCIS is telling you that?
They said that Subway told her like the machine was
my
messed up. And I said,
Yeah,
that's
right.
right. But you know what? What's going to tell me the truth? The bank statement, not your machine.
Man,
So-
they are reaching. hard. I mean,
Mhm.
that is
They're lying.
ridiculous. They don't know that. They don't know that.
So basic facts that anybody can see are being completely pushed under the rug, not even looked at. It's like they didn't want to look at Caleb's phone records. I clearly have the date that he last communicated with anybody.
Let me see.
It was the 15th of January, 2020. And then they found his body on the 21st. Let's do the math, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gloria,
they found his body on the
Kamisha-
21st in the afternoon.
We need the Kamisha Block Justice and Accountability Bill pushed. She needs a
Yeah.
sponsor. We need to talk to her about that because that covers everything. It covers all
We
of
need
these.
her to step up and join us.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
it covers all of covers homicides, closed cases, you know, it covers it covers it all.
covers the
It's a one-stop
cover-ups.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop for all these corruption, all these
Yep.
corrupted investigations.
Now you
That
see
the
why there
military-
isn't a sponsor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The military getting away with it, and Congress
we're
and
just gonna-
Senate don't. No balls
We're going to keep
up there in the
beating
cap.
at this Leviathan from many different angles. And we're going to
Yes.
hit it, smack it from different angles because there's so many families that are caught in the undertow of this thing. And
Mhm.
we see the need for, our eyes are completely open because our lives are upside down. Our families have been affected by this.
Yes.
You know, we need the veterans like you, Kimberly, like Manuel, the private investigator that we've been talking about, you know, that has a heart of justice.
Yes.
They see cut through all the BS because
Yes.
they, you know, you can't pull the wool over somebody's eyes that's been served as long as you have Kimberly and Manuel, and call BS on it and say, hey, we're here to support these families and say, we call BS too. And that's why I love hearing Patrick Caserta speak. You know, Terry corrected me earlier when I said something about mothers. It's a family thing, fathers as well. Patrick,
Yes.
I mean, like he's a veteran Navy counselor. Like how many years?
22?
Yeah. So I mean, like,
He's retired.
you know,
Thank
these
you for your service.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
we're
for
educated.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry. We're educated people. We've been working in society in America. We're just the everyday average person, but we're, you know, also, you know, you have our veterans here to say, this is not how it works, folks.
We are not going to be bamboozled.
We are
We're not.
not going to be bamboozled.
You know
And
what?
we need more veterans. We need more veterans. If there are veterans out there who want to speak, you know, come on our show and be a subject matter expert.
Yes.
Come on and give your, you know, listen to a story and give your opinion on it. We would love to have you.
And we would love to have current service members who are willing to tell their stories.
That's
I'm
true.
trying to work with sailors from Norfolk, from the George Washington to come on. I may have a few if that's okay with you guys, but they're in it every day. They're in it. And we need to know what's going on a daily basis especially on that ship. I'm sorry. And Gloria, one other thing you need to FOIA. Again, you're just asking all camera footage.
Well, they weren't working.
You want that in writing.
In writing, okay.
You want them to say they weren't working.
Okay.
Right. So they,
Okay.
because then
It's
they have
on
to have
record.
accountability for that. That just shows.
That's why I want you to ask for it, because they will say they weren't working. Or they're going to say, well, he wasn't near a camera. Okay, we're talking about a military
A
base.
military base. Thank you. That's exactly what
Just like my son, he was on the flight line when he did what he did. And none of the cameras on the flight line didn't work. Really? That's where you need cameras.
That's what you need. Exactly.
So if you FOIA those, you want them to come back and say they weren't working.
Okay. Okay. Because they kept telling me that no cameras were working. They even try to do, when they do the connection to when they were trying to locate him to see the antenna, what was he last at? The
They
satellite.
triangulated him. They're trying to triangulate.
Yeah, but it was still not working. That didn't work. Really?
Of course not. I'm telling you, I have cameras in my
Nothing
house.
ever works for some reason.
I have cameras at my house that we've had for 15 years, and they have always worked. And you can't tell me that their cameras are less quality than my cameras here at my home. Really? I'm not buying it. I'm done being told stuff that isn't true. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everything that our families are going through. I'm sorry?
It's so true. They're lying.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. Lying and lying. And the thing is, they can't even keep up with their lies.
Right.
They can't even keep up with them. They change it all the time.
Yep.
All the time. If you were saying the truth, you will keep saying the same thing. But when you're lying, you just keep changing it. You don't even remember what you're saying because you keep changing it for one lie to another. That's why I told them, this is the second story you give me differently. I told them. So another person also wrote that my son he received the Dear John letter. That's what the Dear John letter, and that he was so drunk that he fell on the dumps he hit his head on a dumpster. I like, do you hear yourself? Like, you sound.
And where's this letter?
Stupid. Right. And I didn't know what that was, and it was sad because he had a heart breakup. I'm like, he did not have a heart breakup at all. It was like they were trying to change everything.
That's what they do.
That was people that was there that wrote that on the post of the petition. They were writing that when I was sharing it, and I even told the NCIS, but you know what? I think I gave too much information to the NCIS, and I was dumb for doing that. I didn't know any better. I thought they were trying to help me, which now I see that they weren't, because it got me to almost 4 years and still nothing. And they're still out there.
Gloria, my husband is 22 years retired Navy, and he told them everything. He told them what to ask and who to ask, thinking, and they told him, we'll ask. Did they? No. My husband was snowed by NCIS. So you're not dumb. It's what we do in trying to find out what happened to our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We're sitting there going, okay, I'm just going to tell them everything. They have to know everything in order to make a complete and thorough investigation. And all they use it for is to go back to the command and say, okay, this is what he said. The command has time to change everything, get rid of what we're talking about, coming up with different stories. But you're not dumb at all, because we want the truth. We deserve the truth, and you expect the truth, and we don't get it. It's not your fault. It's theirs for being a shit.
And it's downright abusive. I mean, what they put us through, and then they expect us not to complain or keep poking and prodding, and then ask us questions like, are you on any kind of medication, or do you have any weapons in your house? And, have you seen a counselor? And it's like, that is so inappropriate. that they can even do that. It makes you feel like you're naked in front of them. Like, hey, this is my life here, and it has nothing. It's none of your business.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
They strip you clean. And it has to stop. And then
It
the thing
does.
is, if we don't come to the table and speak about these things that have been done, these injustices, and the way the families have been treated, and
Exactly.
then each family's been treated very differently.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, we have to. It's not
Expose
pretty,
them.
but we have to shine a light on these things. We love the military. This is not about us
Exactly.
dogging on the military. I know a lot of people may think that, but
Here's-
that's not what this is
Yeah,
about.
but it's not
Here's
about.
here's what we have been saying the last couple of days. We support our service members.
Mhm.
We love our service
Yes.
members.
Yes.
The institutions need fixing,
Exactly.
Yes,
but we
I-
support our service members.
absolutely.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly.
And we stand behind our service members. It's the
Exactly.
institutions
Exactly.
that
It's a
need-
broken system. It's a failed system.
Yep, exactly,
It has to
Heather,
change.
exactly.
Something has to change. Something has to change, and
They have,
then we need to have an independent agency. That's for sure.
Yes.
Because I don't get it. How can they investigate their own selves? Forget it.
Because
That's covering everything up. Like they get away with everything.
they're protecting everybody. They do that because they want to protect the ones they want to protect.
Exactly.
That has to stop.
When they gave us the wrong body, one of my cousins,
Oh my God.
was so mad that he said, "You can't make this shit up." And he said,
Right.
"Excuse me, sorry." My cousin said, "I said, you can't make this shit up. I'm not scared of you." Because it's true. They think that you're going to feel intimidated because you wear
Yes.
the uniform.
Right.
It's true. You can't make this up. I told them, I can't make this up. I can't make every mistake that you had told me, every lie you told me. I can't make this up. For
But
one, I
see-
was European.
But see, you are. You don't know anything because you weren't there.
But the paper they sent says different.
How can you know anything? You weren't there. You're just his mom, but
Mhm.
you don't know anything. You weren't there. You weren't by his side.
Because we don't know our kids, right?
Right.
So I told them, I know my kid. I know how he was. I know how he thinks. I know the way he was. He always watched his back. And this is why I keep saying there's a lot of theories I have that could have happened. Maybe somebody was drunk and they got into an argument. I don't know. And my son might have said it's not a big of a deal and try to walk away to leave because that's the way he is. And then they grabbed him. I don't know. But I know that they killed him. They killed him. They murdered him. And it was his own brothers, so-called brothers, because that's the way I call it now.
Yeah.
So-called brothers.
Yep.
Okay.
And right now we are making a plea. Well, I'm assuming Heather and Kimberly agree.
Yes.
We are making a plea to anybody who knows anything about Ronnie's death to come forward.
Please, please,
Talk
please.
to Locked and Loaded Diaries. We are a safe place. We will not disclose your names, but we need to get to the bottom of what happened.
Exactly.
His mom, Gloria, here deserves the answer, the real
The
answer.
real answers. Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
That's
I
my
really
plea.
appreciate it. Thank you.
I think
Any
that was,
other-
yeah, I was gonna say, that's a beautiful closeout.
Yes, it was. It,
Yay.
Well,
it was. Any more?
Heather,
our
you-
sons'
you wanna do a
bodies are
closeout
crying
for
out for the
now?
grave.
Yes, they are.
You know, they're crying out from the grave, and
Yes,
they're
they are.
crying and they're screaming justice.
Yes,
And
they are.
good people like Kimberly and like our friend Manuel, they're hearing the call. And like I said, we need more of our veterans to come forward and say, I can't believe this. We're not standing for this. I need America to join us and say the same thing. We need your support. If you know a family that's been affected in this particular way, encourage them to come to the table with us. Come to the table with us.
Exactly.
Not everybody's ready to speak out. There are people like us that can speak with you or on your behalf if you allow us. Some families just are not able to,
Exactly.
because they can't be in front of a camera or whatever it is. They're so crushed that they can't even speak it one more time. There's many different reasons, but we want you guys to know that we love you. We thank you guys. Thank you, America. You are beautiful. And Kimberly.
I would like to say something.
Oh, Gloria.
I would like to, no, sorry. I would like to all the moms, all the families, not only moms, all the families out there that I know a couple that feel afraid to talk for some reason, and some of them are not ready, that they could reach out. They could reach out to you. They could reach out to me privately. You know, we would not say their names, you know, that we're here to support them. We're here to help them because we're going through the same pain and the same situations, you know, not to be afraid, to speak up. Don't be scared. The more we have, the stronger we're going to become.
Yep.
You know, stronger that we could fight with them. Right. They can't say no to us when they see so many coming out.
Right.
And if we come together,
we come together and exactly.
We stand together, we unify
together.
We, you know, there's everybody has been affected in different ways. We have some of us, we have to drop our pride and humble ourselves to be able to stand together. And I mean, I'm confronted with that all the time, you know. And so just asking everybody to come together with us and let's do this thing. We are powerful and strong. Look at who our children are.
Yeah, let's unify together and fight. Because you know what? We're the only voice for our kids. Nobody else is going to speak for them. Nobody else is going to defend them. Nobody else is going to get justice for them but us. So
don't we're the ones that know them the best. We know their hopes, their dreams, their compassion, their passion to serve our country. And we know that yours was the same way.
Yes. All I want is justice. I want justice, and a change has to be made. You know, there has to be a change. I keep seeing all this new news and everything that's going on. All the military young kids that were killed, and that and in training and all this, like, why? Like, what is going on? You know, aren't you supposed to be training them so they could avoid, you know, like they could know how to protect themselves and everything? And it's like, what is going on? I don't understand. I really, it gets me so mad. I'm so angry. And I've been good. See, I've been behaving, talking, you know, I'm speaking. You right, Heather?
I was just going to say the health and the state of the way we treat our service members and how we take care of them is a direct kind of barometer of the state of our nation.
Yeah.
And you know, we want a healthy family. We want a healthy nation. We've got to come together and work together to make that happen. In order to have peace, sometimes you have to have war. Right now, we're on the battlefield. This is a battle.
We're not alone. Remember that now. And now we're not alone.
We are not alone.
Manuel Gomez with us. We're not alone.
Not alone.
We're not alone.
We're not
all
alone.
Of us. With Kimberly, Terry, all of us.
Yay!
Heather,
I know.
Get Manuel on the show. Heather, we need to get Manuel on the show.
Yes, we do.
We do need to get Manuel on the show.
Mhm,
We
That would be a hoot.
mhm.
It would be a hoot. We're gonna come on. We're gonna have to like crack the mother whip. Okay, Manuel. Now behave. We're kidding. We love
Okay,
Manuel, but he is a powerhouse.
For me, I want
I'm
answers.
fired up about
And
this
I want
though.
justice. And I want to thank you, girls. Thank you, ladies, for having me in your show.
Oh, we love you. We
I
adore
love
you.
girls.
We thank you for your service. Thank
Really,
you for
really, really do.
continuing the service of your Marine.
And thank you for
we-
sharing your story.
No, thank
One
you
more time.
for me and for helping me and for giving me some notes because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for
Terry is our secret weapon cache. She's
Okay.
got like
She's amazing.
so much knowledge and yeah, that's so much to offer. And we are grateful to have her as one of our weapons here.
Thank you, Kimberly. You're sweet.
Gloria, I mean what I say. It's
Thank you.
Gloria, know that we mourn with you. We mourn your son. We mourn the loss. Just looking at the picture behind you,
Oh, yeah.
he wears that
He's
uniform
beautiful.
so proud.
He's right
He
there.
is beautiful.
Very handsome.
Look, they couldn't find his glasses, right? Look at his glasses. You see his glasses there? Do you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They try to show me another kind of glasses that has like the line, like the frame down
The
here.
bifocal.
And
Yeah.
they have those another ones. Mhm.
What's
That's
with
like-
these? The unprofessional, like freaking
I
howdy
don't
doody,
know.
you know?
Dude.
I don't know. All I know is that I said they could say whatever they
There's-
want to say. They lie, they're
They're
calling
clowns.
a lie. And how they gonna fix
They
that
are
lie? Because I have it
clowns.
on paper and everything. How they gonna fix it? What they gonna say? Change the story again? To be another
They
lie?
look so silly standing there in that beautiful uniform that they don't deserve to wear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't. Freaking
Not
Commandant
if
of
they're
the
going to
Marine
be
Corps,
that bad.
NCIS, Okinawa, Armed Forces Committee, you
Mhm.
all suck.
Yep.
Do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Now that you said
That's my
that,
closeout.
now
That
that you
is my closeout.
now that you said that, so when this happened with my son at the beginning, my phone was making a noise, right? And I was talking to my cousin and I said, "Is that your phone?" And he said, "No, that's your phone." I said, "Oh, it's my phone. Okay, hold on." And I said, "If you're tapping my phone and you're listening to my conversation," I told him like that. I said, "Do your fucking job and stop listening to
Right?
my conversation because I'm not gonna help you solve it." I said, "So do your fucking job," and I hanged up. And I was like, "Really
Yeah.
tapping my phone?" Because that's what they were doing, but they deny it.
You're not
course
the
they do.
first person to say that. You are not the first person to say that. Mr. Derek Lucky, father of Danielle Lucky, has had some incidences with his phones and his computers.
You
They're
see?
definitely listening. They're watching us now.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are. They are. My phone
Yeah,
got forwarded
we-
to another number.
They're
and I
watching the
didn't know.
truth.
Yeah, well, they could hear everything they want because you know what? I really don't give a shit. They killed my son and I'm
Right.
coming.
They're trying to find out where we are in our own
Yeah,
investigation.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
If they do their
what could
job
we
right,
learn?
they know. And if they were in
Right.
line, maybe they wouldn't have to do this.
right.
Yep.
Just
Mhm.
tell the truth. Hold that one person accountable. It's that fucking easy.
Yep.
And close the case.
Yep.
Do your
Exactly.
job. That's the
Exactly.
job. That is the job.
Exactly.
We
And
could do
stop
it
snooping
on
around.
our own.
Stop
And don't
snooping
just stop
around.
an investigation and say, oh, it's natural causes. Now the case closed, even though there was
Right.
way more things happening in that investigation, way more people that need to be held accountable, questioned. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's some shocking things in every single one of these investigations.
And it happens with suicides.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, they know that my son was killed. They know that, but they don't want to change the death undetermined to homicide. I don't know why. It's common sense that he was murdered. So why not change it? What more proof do you want? He got hit on the back of the head and they threw him in there and they try to bury him.
A balloon could solve this case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The
And
red
then
balloon.
what was he gonna do in an area where
Wait.
nobody goes to? Dark at
Wait.
night, no glasses.
They are buffoons or baboons or whatever.
Buffoon. I thought you said a
I said balloon.
Oh,
Like I said,
Like,
I thought you
airhead.
said buffoons.
They are. This airhead that's empty with just air could solve a case.
I've
Like,
always said that I've heard better excuses from my fourth graders
Yeah, I bet.
as a teacher.
I bet.
can go do their job and not need that degree of
Should- and humiliated at how ridiculous their investigations look. When you read them, when you look through this baloney, this phony baloney here,
yeah.
we make notes and highlight things and we
I
find
have folder too.
unbelievable,
you know what the sad thing is that
unbelievable.
people enlisted with the best intentions and
Yes,
they became
Yes.
a victim of the system. You know, they let power get to their head. They're
Yes.
so focused on that 20-year pension. You know, they started out just like Ronnie did,
Exactly.
but they turned into the enemy. There's this saying, you either die a hero or you see yourself turn into the enemy.
Yes.
Something like that,
Something, yeah.
you know? So
I know somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. They know. They all have to know. I don't know why. They all got to know what happened. They seen
Of course
something.
they do.
To talk. There was
do
more
not
than
take,
person there.
yeah, do not take this to the grave with you, Marines, or if
Mhm.
you're a civilian now, do not, your soul will pay the price. Your
Exactly.
physical and your mental health will pay the price unless you
Mhm.
come clean.
Exactly.
You're not, you can't just brush this off. You're not going to get away with it.
Let this
your body
Marine
will
rest in peace.
not allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I
What
want.
would you want him to do if it was you and your mother? Think about your own mother.
Exactly. They will want the same thing. They will want for if it was us to come clean, if we knew something. So
And we're
know-
here. We're here for all of you, your
Mhm.
mothers,
You know,
your
we need-
families. If something happens,
you know who we need? We need Stu Scheller on the show. Stu Scheller, the Marine who stepped up and spoke out against his chain of command for doing the wrong
oh, wouldn't
things.
that be something?
really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
we do. You heard me? You saw my face. We do.
Oh yeah.
Because he did. He spoke out against the system and they retaliated against him. And he was a colonel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to tell this to Manuel.
Well, he's gonna hear it now.
He's gonna hear it
Yeah,
now.
we get- Okay, ladies, let's wrap this up for the evening,
Okay.
or we could talk all night long.
I know.
Black
There's so
Lotus
much to say.
Diaries.
Like a bunch of
We'd
fire
like to-
breathing dragons.
Thank you for having me in your show.
Yes, thank
Love
you
you.
for being
Well,
here.
You're a
We
warrior.
love you,
Thank you.
and we love
Yeah, too.
our listeners. Thank you for being here and witnessing this
Mhm.
fight, because
Yes.
you are witnesses.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
God
Have-
bless America.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.